What's up, y'all? CDO Trades here. Let's go over some bottoms. All right, so we're gonna go over a fake bottom and a protected bottom. Now, a fake unprotected bottom is when you have a swing high and it causes a sweeping low, but that swing high is not taken out with speed. That implies that it's weak. So if you come here, swing high, swing low, and you bounce up, it doesn't take out the swing high in that first move, and it kind of makes another double bottom and it's a higher low. That's usually weak. All right, and then the next time it tests that swing high, it's going to sweep and then most likely be inducement slash a trap before dumping lower. So that's a fake unprotected bottom. So anytime I see kind of like this move, I'm not interested. Now, what a real protected A plus bottom is when you have a swing high that caused a sweeping low to be taken out with speed. Usually there's a BPR or IFVG present. Most of the time it's going to be V-shaped looking, and the second one would be a 3-tap. All right, so if you notice, this bottom usually will have the wick is usually the second leg like this, right? That there would be a wick. So let's say this is the wick and there's no wick over here on the weak bottom. This would be this leg, the lowest part will have the wick, right? So the swing leg, the swing high that causes the wick low is taken out with speed, and it has a BPR or FVG most of the time. And then on the retest or the CSD, it's gonna take off. All right, so we're always gonna be looking for this pattern. All right, so usually it's 3 steps. Let's go over Bitcoin right here. So I already marked it out for you. I'm gonna bring this right here. All right, this is the daily. Okay, so you have your lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then when we break above, and then real quick, by the way, a swing high is whenever you got 2 different colored candles, right? So this is considered a swing high because it's a green candle and a red candle, green candle, red candle, and then it dumps. Okay, so the first step is we swept a major PD array, all right? And then there's a BPR that follows, all right? And on the retest of the lower high, turning it into a higher low, that's a CSD, right? So there's actually like this, like that. So lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break, higher high, higher low on the retest, higher high again, higher low, and then that's the first step. The second step or higher time frame level confirmation is above here. So we broke above this lower high, and notice I'm only looking at closes. I'm not looking at wicks because that's what CSD is for, change in state delivery. If you're looking at wicks, then you're doing market structure shift, which is, I don't use that anymore. It's just, for me, it's better to use CSD. So this is a plus looking bottom, and then you kind of notice this V-shaped pattern. All right. So again, when you have a lower high that's taken out with speed and a BPR or IFVG is present, then most likely you have a real bottom. And this leg, usually the wick low, right? You want a wick low, and then the next wick low should have broken above here. So hopefully that makes sense, and I'll go over some weaker looking bottoms. All right. I'm not going to discuss this price action yet because we don't know where it's going. To me, I think it's going lower, but I've already made a video on that. So let's go over this. So for me, this is not really this doesn't follow the model that I look for. So again, we have let's just talk about it right now. Lower high and a lower low. All right. So this is the wick low. There's another wick over here, but the problem is this high didn't break this lower high. So all of this to me is noise. Okay, so I'm not interested in any of that price action. The only time you get confirmation is when you're above this lower high. So you get this CSD right here. And what do you also notice? There's a massive IFVG that's confirmed. So that to me is not one of the models I follow, but if I was going to take an entry off of it, I would wait for this lower high to be broken and retested. Okay, so again, this is not something I'm interested in. Now, if it had done this instead, right? If let's say like if this was a lower low, so let's say if there's a wick, right? If there's a wick low over here, and then it broke through like this, then that's a strong reversal to me. But because we didn't do that, I'm not interested in these kind of bottoms, right? Just reiterating, anytime you see like a double bottom where this leg is the wick low, so usually it's, let's see, wick low and then another wick, that's not the kind of bottoms I look for. The kind of bottoms I look for is, so swing high, let me see, swing high, swing low, wick, and then it breaks through, and then it goes, or let's say it's swing wick, and then this is the actual longer wick, and then it'll break through. All right, so I'm usually interested in a wick where the second leg is a wick low. I know that's kind of hard to explain, but let's see if we can find a few examples. This is, I don't really want to discuss this one either, but yeah, let's just go through it. This would have followed my model a little bit, but it wouldn't have really given you entry. So there's BPR here. So again, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher highs up here. So it broke through all of this. It didn't retest, so I wouldn't have gotten entry. You could have gotten entry on the second higher time frame confirmation right here to take it up. But this is not one. Yeah, I would have missed probably on this. Let's look at NQ. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, let's talk about, yeah, let's talk about this. Ooh, didn't really sweep. That's probably that's not as good either. Okay, yeah, so we'll talk about it anyway. So this is kind of relative equal lows, so it's not really based off our model, but we'll talk about it. And let's see, relative equal lows. So there's a BPR present, so that's good, and you get a CSD. But the ultimate confirmation, again, where is the leg that caused, where's the swing high that caused a swing low wick? It's right here. All right, so this is the level you wanted to wait for, and that's the real CSD. Okay, so that's the real CSD where you would have taken entry, and then you would just target this high. So it will look like this. All right, that's how it would have looked. But if you wanted to play, and again, this is more trappy behavior because it didn't break, because this is it didn't sweep this leg, right? Because if it had swept like this, let's say that the wick was down here, then it's protected, and then you can take this CSD. But because it didn't, this CSD is a little bit unprotected. This would be protected because you're taking out the leg, the swing high that took out, the swing high that caused a swing low wick, right? God dang, it's a mouthful. All right, let's see if there's a few more. All right, now this is a pretty A plus. I'll give it an A because there's no gap. So there's a sweep. You got a sweep of the leg that caused the, you got a sweep, and then you're breaking above the level that caused the wick low. So you have a CSD, and you can see how it retests into that and it takes off. There's no BPR until here, so that's pretty strong. And then you get second level of CSD above here, so you got more confirmation. Now, how would you play it? I always take entry on the CSD, so on the retest, let me rephrase that. And then the candle that broke through it would have been like this. So I probably would have been stopped on this because it took out this candle low. If you want to be more have more risk, then you could put it on this candle, but that's a little bit too wide for me, so I probably would have been like this and gotten stopped. And it happens sometimes, but sometimes you gotta stick to your own system. All right. So again, that's an example of a protected bottom. Yeah, so let's talk about this one. You see how, so there's a wick and a wick. Why is this not a good bottom? All right, it's more of a dead cat because it couldn't even get to here, right? So we know if it's not taking out any highs, it's just the order flow is still bearish. All right, so now let's say that, so now we're gonna put a lower high here, and we're gonna put a lower low here, and we're gonna put it right there. All right, so what are we waiting for? Waiting for a break, and we couldn't break above this lower high, so we know it's getting, we know it's bearish. We can't even get above there. So this is the top, what I'm talking about. It's inducement. So you see how it's coming up. Can't even get above. Can't get above the high that claws a wick low, and then it sweeps again, right? Even here, it can't even really get above, and then it kind of does this weird choppy corrective behavior. That's not the kind of price action that I want to be in. It's very choppy. And then you're going to see right here, you see how it consolidates. If it starts consolidating, then you have more direction. But even when it consolidates above it, there's no speed, right? I don't want to be a part of that. I want to get in and get out. So that's an example of the trade. Let's go over a fake low. I mean, I can actually go, I'll just talk about Bitcoin again. So yeah, let's talk about this. All right, so here we are again, lower high. This is very similar to the action we just saw earlier. Okay, so what do we notice? There's a lower high here, lower low. When we bounce, okay, so we wicked here. When we bounce, this can't even get to the high that caused the wick low. So I know inside my mind, I know, okay, this is probably going to be pretty weak. And then when we come down again, we're not even sweeping this level. So what is that telling you? That's telling you this is a weak bottom and it'll get ran through eventually. But there is a BPR here, and it doesn't follow my model, but if I was forced to take it, I would start looking like this, and then I would start looking, okay, there's a CSD here, right? And then if I was gonna take entry, same exact thing. So, and then take it to this lower high, right? 64 points. And then if you wanted to do it above here, CSD, this wouldn't really be considered a real CSD just because this is the CSD up here, right? Because this is the swing high that caused a wick low. But if I was going to, then you can, to me, that's not really it's not a good CSD to take entry off of. But if you did ride it, you could have gotten 40 points, all right? So, and then you kind of see how this high, there's not really that much displacement. It kind of does this, and then you see this often. You see this like bullshit, like this dead cat bounce, like three-way flicking structure every single time. All right, and then what do you notice? Because this bottom is so weak, it got ran through. Okay, that's what I mean by it's not a strong low. Now, if it had done, let's say if it had done this, if it swept, right? Let's say it's swept, and if it had swept that, then this would be a better CSD. Then most likely you're going to have better bullish order flow, and then it's going to go higher, right? It'll probably do more, something like that. So that's kind of how I read the market, and my trading style focuses mainly just looking for CSDs only, sweeps in CSDs. So for example, like earlier in this, I'm just gonna reiterate the price action today was fucking garbage. On Friday, the 27th of September. So for me, like today, I was looking earlier, I saw NQ, and then I see that there's a sweep right here. So first thing I'm looking for is the leg that caused the sweep. So what is it right here? So that's a CSD. And you know that this is a bearish order block. These red green candle combinations. So that's a bearish, that's an OB, bearish OB. And then I had the tape read right. It's just the wicks on every single fucking 15-minute candle was so wide, right? But there's a bearish CSD, and what do you know? Order flow is bearish. It's just this scammy ass action. Okay. So that's what a real low and a protected level would look like. Let's talk about, and real quick, I'm just going to go over why I think, with all that being said, why I think that Bitcoin is not bottomed to me, at least not yet. There's not as much confirmation. So let me go over some, I'll do on MEXC. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. All right, let's go over the daily. All right, so we have a, first of all, we have a CSD right here. That's a CSD. And also you can call that a bearish order block. So that's a bearish order block. And then let's look for the lower highs and lower lows. So, okay, this is a lower high. And then this is a lower low. This is a lower high. Let me start putting it like this. Lower high. What do you know? Lower high. And then lower high. All right, this right now is nothing. This, so from here, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then it's not really lower low. So I guess this is part of the same leg. This is part of this leg, so you can get rid of it. All right, because it didn't sweep. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, this is the leg that we need to focus on right now. This lower high caused the most recent wick low. Okay, so you should think that this is protected, but it's not. The only way it's protected is if you take out this level right here. So when you take out 68,254 on the daily, or I guess you could call this most recent lower high, right? That's, if you can start taking out this level of 65,395, then you can start talking about, okay, maybe we go here to the next liquidity zone, and if this is close above, then you can start saying this is protected. All right, but to me, there's no protection right now, so that's why I'm still cautious. All right, and the same thing, if you get a weekly close above here, where is it? Yeah, then you can CSD. So you need to close above the lower high that caused the wick low. Otherwise, it's going to do this. It's going to trap you. It's going to do that. And then you're going to go crying home to mommy being like, oh shit, this is not what I thought it was, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll get liquidated. When that happens, it's going to sweep this wick low, and the shit's not going to hold. It's not going to hold. It'll sweep, but all this price action will just get wiped out. And what do you notice right now? They're all swings. There's no, this is a swing, this wick low is a swing, this wick low is a swing. They're all swing failures. There's no sweeps of any of these bottom levels, so there's no protection at all on this way up. All right, that's how you find engineered liquidity. Okay, So that's my thought basis. And then if I had to guess where it's gonna stop, it's probably gonna be at the weekly close today. So I'm gonna guess at this bearish order block somewhere in here, and then it's probably gonna sweep this level because this level is already protected. So it's probably gonna sweep one of these wick highs. So we're really close to it. And then if I go down to a lower time frame, yeah, this is not. Oh, actually kind of CSD'd right now. It kind of CSD'd right now with a bearish IFVG, but I mean, we'll wait and see. I still kind of think it doesn't look that bad yet. I think it kind of wants to. It looks like it wants to sweep one more time, and then go lower. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. I'll try to make a YouTube short that has all the templates, and maybe it'll be easier to follow. But happy trading and stay safe out there. Peace.